Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Wednesday, September 12th, 2012. Apparently last night at about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning in London, somebody jumped out of the 23rd floor of the Willis building in London directly across from Lloyd's. Obviously it was a suicide. The police have a crime scene at the base of the building. It's just near the entrance to the Pret-a-Manger restaurant on the back side of the building, for those familiar with the area. No reports on who the unfortunate individual may be. Meanwhile, in Libya, the American ambassador to the country, Christopher Stevens, has been killed. Mr. Stevens, as well as 3 other American diplomats, were killed at the American consulate in Benghazi, where they had gone for a day trip. The Islamic world is in an uproar right now over an amateur video produced in the United States by expatriate members of Egypt's Coptic Christian community, depicting the Prophet Muhammad in a very negative light. Earlier in the day, the American embassy in Cairo was penetrated by thousands of Egyptian demonstrators who tore down the American flag and raised a black flag, a black Islamic flag. In Pakistan, officials are saying that the death toll from devastating factory fires that have broken out in 2 major cities has now risen to 314. According to the government, a fire at a garment factory in the southern Pakistani city of Karachi has killed at least 290 people. In Lahore, Pakistan, a fire last night has killed 25 people at a shoe factory. The death toll is expected to rise much higher, especially at the garment factory. Well, you knew this would happen. The recent changes at Lloyd's with the departure of Sue Langley and seeing her remit taking over by Luke Savage, people would eventually begin to talk about this. The CEO of Lloyd's, Dr. Richard Ward, who's a very straight shooter actually, is in Monte Carlo at the reinsurance rendezvous. He said that in fact the changes that have been made will allow brokers to have a greater connection with the London market. He said that the implementation of the modernization effect and effort will in fact create an opportunity to look at how things are being done and to perhaps do things differently in the future. He said, I think through a more streamlined approach and engagement with all colleagues at the Lloyd's director level, I think we'll be able to achieve a more effective connection with the market, and I include the brokers in that because they're critical. He paid tribute to the work Langley had done in her 5 years at Lloyd's, saying she did a fantastic job, and now we have an opportunity to do things slightly differently. He predicted that the new lineup will produce a more efficient and effective organization that is more focused on delivery and will give a better outcome. Well, if you're a resident of the United Kingdom, the Channel Islands, or Scotland, you might want to get on your shoes and get ready to line up in front of Beazley. The London insurer, one of the biggest ones, is going to offer a 7-year corporate bond with a, get this, a 5.375% interest rate. It's going to be paid out twice a year. The minimum investment is only £2,000. That's about $3,200. The bond will mature in September of 2019. Beazley is hoping to raise up to £75 million. The bond will be available at 10 a.m. on September 20th, but it may close earlier subject to demand. Phil Wong, a stockbroker in London at Redmayne Bentley, said, if previous issuers are anything to go by, this offering will see a level of very strong interest. No kidding. At that interest rate, people are going to be running to them. Beazley has been given a BBB+ rating by Standard & Poor's and is viewed as a low to medium risk investment. Newfoundland is cleaning up today after Leslie went through, knocking out power to just about the whole island, shutting down the airport in St. John's. Wind speeds were at about 50 miles per hour, and they got an awful lot of rain. Yesterday in Barcelona, in Spain, Barcelona is the cultural capital of Catalonia. 1.5 million people demonstrated in the town, the city, actually very non-violently, protesting the government regime in Madrid. Apparently, the province of Catalonia increasingly feels that they're getting a bad deal from the national government, and the Catalonian president is demanding the right to raise and spend their own taxes. It's not an interesting situation because what could happen now with other independent-minded regions in Europe, such as Scotland and Flanders, we could end up with even more states joining the EU conflagration, excuse my language. At least 10 people were killed today in a plane crash in Russia's far eastern Kamchatka Peninsula. An Antonov twin-engine A-28 went down, tried to make an emergency landing. No word on the cause of the crash. At least 8 people were injured in Holland yesterday. Actually, it was earlier today at an explosion at a gas-fired power plant in Nuon in the Netherlands. The spokesman for the Nuon plant, which is owned by Sweden's Vattenfall company, said that one explosion happened at around 6:30 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time while employees were working on the plant's high-voltage grid. No word on what the cause is. A former UBS banker who provided information on UBS's vast business of helping wealthy Americans evade income taxes received a $104 million whistleblower settlement from the U.S. government, the largest award in U.S. history. That would be Bradley Birkenfield, who was laughing all the way to the bank today. Now, the final story is coming from New Zealand. Christchurch, New Zealand has been racked by 2 big earthquakes last year. Tremendous reconstruction job going. Thousands and thousands of homeowners and business owners are experiencing delays in getting paid. And there was a Facebook campaign that a number of the malcontents had put together criticizing the Earthquake Recovery Authority in Christchurch. The recovery minister of this authority has commented that he was sick and tired of complaints from Christchurch homeowners who are waiting for their damaged homes to be repaired. I'm sick and tired of these people carping and moaning. He said that the only people who had responded and were carping and moaning were those who had time to bugger around on Facebook all day. Well, aside from what you might think about that, some might agree with it. He was forced to apologize. The opposition party quickly jumped on it, and Mr. Brownlee essentially said, I'm a little bit frazzled. I've been dealing with this for months and months and months, and I misspoke. Well, he sure did. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching.